Is it on now? There it goes. It looks like it's on now. Oh, is that better, audience? Nobody's responding.
That's not.
That's not.
Jeez, you guys are plugged
That's
in.
my
all
blood
right.
sugar telling me they can't hear us.
Nick, you can proceed.
Okay, so go back to the Chaz Crawford. So this was one we took up in May. We just forgot to get it on on our notes, and so it's for $2,500 grant. Clean up that property there so they can build something new.
Okay. All your documentation.
Yes.
Are in order on
Correct.
this thing. Council, you have any questions with this?
No.
Done.
Nope.
Need a motion to approve this Chad Miracle cleanup, 2,500.
So
So,
moved.
second.
Chaz Crawford.
Chad's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then so that was those were the only program applications we had. Last time I was here, you guys had asked us to discuss a little bit further, like the at-home business stuff. And so I just wanted to report, we did have a pretty lengthy conversation about that. At this time, we didn't take any action. We just said our stance or our position of the board is just that we want to review each application individually on its merits, and not say, okay, we're going to throw one out because they don't have a physical location or what, because some people might have a legitimate business. If it's something that's like on the low end scale, again, the things that we focus on are, does it contribute to housing? Does it contribute to employment? Does it contribute to sales tax? Those are the three biggest things that we kind of prioritize with our program applications. And so we'll just continue to do that, but we'll take I feel like just my perspective of being on the board for almost 8 years now has been, these things are pretty well scrutinized, and we've got people that are able to say no on our board, and I feel pretty good about that, where probably wasn't the case in the past too. So.
And that's that's for ongoing future things. That's kind of what you got to have those in place just to keep people from
Right.
having to say
Right.
no.
Yeah. You get too many people that are just too nice and nobody wants to, challenge the system at all. Then that's when you get the ones that slip through and cause you problems. Okay. Last thing we had from it was just an approval, or I don't know if we need to send this through to you guys or what, but we did propose a budget for this year, and I sent a copy of that in there. And Jill, I just used your template that you sent me, and we just modified it a little bit. So I don't know if you guys need to vote on that or not, but that was the last item.
More for your program so that you guys have a good idea of what your goals are.
Yeah, definitely. Other than that, I heard you guys talking about council member applications. If there's anybody on that you think would be good candidates for the Economic Development Board too, we'd love it if you guys would share those with us, or get through your process first, and maybe if any of those people are interested.
I'll give you a couple of names when we get done.
Good, that'd be great, because we're always looking for new board members, and we're down to a board of 5 right now. I term out in January, and so then we're gonna be down to 4, and it just makes it tough to vote on stuff, obviously, for that. So, yeah, if there's anybody that's interested, we'd love to
You
talk.
term
about
out in January.
Turnout, yep, I'm done.
8 years?
I guess so. It flies by, doesn't it?
Holy.
Yeah. Other than that, we're continuing to look for a director. We had quite a bit of conversation at our last meeting about what we're trying to do right now is, instead of necessarily going and looking for a rock star, we're trying to, we kind of reverse engineered the job description and said, okay, what are the things that we need to have somebody there day to day for? Answering phones, following up with people, putting together packets, and boil it down to those things that we think are really kind of administrative. And we're going to focus a lot more on trying to recruit somebody for more of an administrative type role. Some of the feedback we've gotten from some of the candidates and people that chose not to even apply was just that they thought they were just, too underqualified for this job, and we think that we've got a good board, we've got a good council, we've got good committees. We can do a lot of the stuff that needs to be done. If there's face-to-face meetings with potential business or something like that, that's something we should be engaging you guys with and our board anyways. And so we don't need to rely on an administrator to do that, but we need somebody in there day to day, and we need somebody to help bridge some of these opportunities with Chamber of Commerce, in their recruitment. And so I think this will get us back to a place where we can all kind of recruit together. So anyways, that just kind of updated what we're going on. We had a lot of budget discussion, and spent a lot of time going over that budget and getting things ready for next year. So,
All right.
cool. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Anything else for me?
Any, Don, Tracy?
I'm good.
Yeah. What's up?
So the land bank house, the big blue one over here, it's full of dead trees falling off in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
What do we want to do about it?
You know, so our so we have a subcommittee called the Housing Committee, and I'm on that board as well, or that committee. And one of our recommendations or discussions in that committee was going to be for the land bank to, at their next meeting, just consider tearing that property down. We've talked to, man, I bet 20 or more people that we thought were probably interested in buying it or doing something with it. And everybody just seems to think that it's too hard of a layout to do anything with, and then be able to go in there and renovate it and then still keep the cost, you know, what it needs to be resold for. That being said, also, I mean, there's a lot of damage on the house.
Even for free.
Even for free, yeah. I mean, it's just you're going to spend a ton of money, and then you're stuck with this kind of layout. You know, the footprint of the house is somewhat limiting. So I think the housing committee is making a recommendation to the land bank that we'll use one of these revitalization grants and just clean up that property, and then we'll have a lot that we can sell or
And
do
a good
something with.
place.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you don't have much there right now.
Right.
And the whole back alley and onto Atwood's land, it's all down trees.
Yeah. I drove by it on the way to the meeting here tonight. Just-
Somebody cleaned the front up.
Yeah.
Not us, but somebody did. But
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
Yeah, but I think that would be the plan. I think Jill was kind of asking me about that in an email today too, about insurance on those places. And I just told her, I was like, I wouldn't get insurance on any of, you know, other than liability insurance. There's nothing improvement wise that is worth saving. Even on that building downtown that we have, I mean, the roof is so far gone on that thing.
That's the one over here.
Yeah, it used to be Keenest Critters
Yeah.
and Trails End and I don't know, a bunch of places. But I mean, I was in there a couple of months ago and it was on a day it was raining and there was just rain coming in that place. And so that's something else that our housing committee is trying to, hey, do we stabilize that roof, or trying to make some recommendations to land
You
bank or
know,
what to
and I
do.
think that's what we need to do is get somebody in there to figure out what it would cost to do that.
To just stop the bleeding.
Stop the bleeding.
Right.
Because it's just like what happened over on the east side of Main Street. If you don't stop the bleeding, you're
Right.
going to have a hole on the Main Street that'll be there forever.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
So if somebody would get a contractor or two to go up on the roof and say, hey, what's it gonna take here?
Right. Yep. Yep.
Then we can review a bid.
Yeah. I'll make sure we get that housing committee to make that recommendation to the land bank.
Okay.
We'll get that through. But yeah, as far as the house goes, Rick, I mean, whatever you guys need to do to, if you run into something and you're not going to tear it
We're
up.
Go back there and start cutting stuff up. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that house have a basement on it?
Yes.
It does have a basement, but, and I don't know what the foundation looks like or anything. I have not been in it at all.
It's not good. The whole
It's-
east side's crap.
That's kind of what I had heard, that it was not good, but
Whole east side's falling in the basement.
yeah. Yeah.
Second question.
Uh-huh.
Chris Rowe got a hold of me about the Greenberg house. I was gonna bring it up tonight,
Uh-huh.
while you're here.
Sure.
He seems to think that you wanna run water to the south house now.
The South House. Man, I don't know. I know there was some discussions about it. Cause there's the North House is like kind of like a duplex, right? And then the one south of it, there's like that house I just said, the duplex, then the alley, then this
Right.
house, and then Matt Stevens' house. Is that right? That's the
Yeah.
one you're talking about. My understanding on that house is that it's a pretty decent house. And it wouldn't take much to get it back online and make it either rentable or sellable. But I don't know, you know, as far as getting water there, I know Ryan, it seems like Ryan came in and talked to our group one day. And I think you've been there before too. But it was like, I think at the time they were talking about $650 or something to put a water stop. And I don't know, you know, so forgive me if I'm butchering these terminologies, but
No, it's,
The problem with that, Rick, and they'd have to go into Matt Stevens' driveway.
well, that was, yeah. So like that was originally, I think, a holdup for everybody. And that was what we understood, because the water line runs under Matt's driveway.
Yeah.
But then I think, I don't know if it was you, Rick, or Ryan had came up with another solution where there's a water line that comes in from the north.
Yep.
And it could come right across, because there's just a couple of vacant lots, you know, there's like a vacant lot on the corner, and then it come to that other house, and then near the alley, and then this house we're talking about.
that's what we'll do. I've got a quote here, but I just wanna make sure, because we talked about this months ago.
Yeah.
And I think I'd come and told you guys that there's no sense us running a line if you're not gonna do anything with it.
Right. And I think that's where that's the last member I had conversation or remembering of the conversation I had is like, hey, until somebody's ready to do something, nobody needs to do anything, you know?
Well, we've got a quote figured out to run a line to it, but I'm still at that stage. If you guys
Yeah.
aren't gonna do anything with it, there's
Yeah.
no sense us running a line to it.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, Rick. I don't think there's any
So
use
why don't you
of it.
check on that,
I will.
find out for sure, 'cause
Yeah.
I've got the prices for the lines and.
Yeah.
Greenberg still own that.
They do. They own both of those houses right there on either side of that alley. And then they own the other two on the other
Right,
side of
right,
that.
Right, I know. that.
So they basically own that whole,
But there's
like,
a-
turn around the corner
There
there.
is a leak underneath Matt's driveway, because it comes from the south, he does two
Yeah.
houses. And that's why it's
That's
shut
why
off.
it's shut
Right
off.
down at the south curb, it's shut off, because we gotta turn the driveway up to fix it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the deal. But-
yeah.
okay.
But I wouldn't do anything, Rick, until somebody's got a plan. They're like, yep, we're doing something. Because I've heard a lot of people, or I've heard a lot of talk about those houses, those Greenberg houses too, that like, hey, I got an idea, I want to do something, but you know, whether they're willing to do anything is another story too. And so, I mean, there's a lot of people that have to come together, I think, before the
Well,
city
and it
is
won't
getting
take
super
us
excited.
long to put-
That's why I didn't think it would be a major deal either.
I mean, there's nothing to go under,
Yeah,
we can trench it and be done with it.
right, yeah. So I wouldn't worry about it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll follow up with Chris and see what was he talking about. I mean, maybe he's got something new to develop
Yeah,
since I
like
met
said,
with
If
him.
he does, we got the numbers for it.
Cool.
We just need to go toward it, if that's what the city council wants to do.
Yep.
So let me
Yep.
know.
That sounds good. We'll do.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Jamie, do you have anything you bring before the council?
Yeah, we were on that, deal on our ordinances. I talked to, Mike, the judge, and we were talking about maybe raising our fines, because they have been raised for a while. So I got the fine schedule from Phillipsburg and one from Osborne, and I'm gonna kind of go through and see where we're at and stuff. And he even said something about maybe raising our court cost. Osborne's is $70 and Phillipsburg's $108. And we're at 54, so I mean, there's some of them that need the fines raised on, because, you know. So that's something I'm gonna look at, and I'll talk to Tabitha and him and see what, you know, and we'll revisit that later, but I just want to tell you that's something I'm looking at, so.
Okay.
And other than that, I'd like to thank the fire department, city guys, power company for their response on the windstorm the other.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And we still got piles and piles of trees to clean up.
Yeah, the tennis court, up at the high school, I showed Jill, peeled up most of the court and,
Whose jurisdiction do they fall under for insurances or anything? Ours? Okay.
so I took some photos of that, but I mean, it's pretty much, the pickleball court's totally gone. The rest of it's just kind of rolled up, so, but then there's other things, you know. I keep finding stuff every that you drive around, or somebody will say something, stuff you went by that you haven't seen, or, so trying to kind of just document it so we have it, so.
Okay.
So if we have somebody, if Rick gets hold of the county or somebody to come in and help us get some of these trees removed, so we can keep track of what our bill is for the insurance company and the state, so
Okay.
that's about all I have, so.
Anybody have anything for Jamie? Don? Brittany?
No. Rick, you may have the floor. Do you have anything to bring before the council?
Yeah, we covered two of them with Nick. That was handy. The ball fields down there are, we have to turn the water valve on when they're having a ball game or whatever, turned off. Well, long story short, the county commissioners agreed to pay for everything this morning. So as long as you guys are all right with it, they're gonna pay for the trenching and all the pipe and all the fittings, and we're probably gonna oversee it. In South, they don't have anybody that does.
They own that anyway, don't they?
Huh?
They own that anyway.
Yeah.
don't they?
And they come to me and Ryan wanted to know if we would put new water lines in there. I said, I don't understand how that's our
It's
baby.
not.
So I
Well-
told Joey to go to the county commissioners, and then if they said no, then he could come here tonight and we'd discuss it further, but they said yes, so.
Just to Hinckley or lines to both fields? Both fields?
They're on 1 meter, both on 1 meter and one main valve, so we'll just go from the meter to.
Is a line bad?
Yeah, it's old black
It's old
plastic
black rolled plastic. and
without a liner.
I actually seen 7 or 8 guys out there one day with the little copper rods all walking around. They all found 7 different places. We dug 7 holes and never found the line, so if that tells you anything. Oh, God.
Okay.
And I bought a new grapple for our skid steer today, and it's amazing. I don't know how far we'd have got without it, but we made it. We started at the Armory, we went up Court Street, we went around the corner to Kansas and came down a block and a half, and it was 3:15, and we quit. We had 21 truckloads. That's all the farther we made it today.
I was gonna say, you ain't been anywhere yet.
We didn't do any of the cross streets. We didn't do any of the cross streets. We didn't do anything. We went right at Court. So,
You gonna have room for it all?
huh?
We're gonna have room down there?
No, we're gonna have to burn the pile before. There's
Do
no
we
way
need
it's all gonna go
permission
down
from
there.
somebody to do that, or can be done?
No, it's part of our
You mean
contract
like
with the
burning
state.
ban or something?
Well, I didn't know if they, like the state or the landfill, they can only burn certain times.
Oh,
You know, they can burn as long as there's not a burn ban, and what they monitor us very closely for are what is in those piles, which is why those signs are there. We can get fined if there's trash, if there's bags,
Yeah,
you know, that
But
kind
deep
of
fresh
stuff.
or anything like that. Okay.
she's gonna smoke.
Is that all you have, Rick?
Well, I was just gonna tell you that I contacted Mitch Fritz and he said whatever we need, they've got a skid steer with grapples, they got a 30-foot trailer we can use. I'm just not sure. I'm gonna get with him again in the morning, because I didn't have any help. You know, I had a guy in the loader, a guy in the skid steer, and 2 truck drivers, that's all I had today, so.
With the county, yeah. Is Mitch still doing work with them?
yep.
I thought he retired.
No, he's having to do
He's
chemo.
he's had cancer.
Oh,
He's doing chemo for
I
some kind
wasn't
of
aware of
cancer.
that. Okay.
He's still working. And the only other thing I got is, Don, you dropped something. I text you and you didn't even, other side, when you pulled your phone out.
Your lottery ticket.
The winning lottery.
No, these are the losing lottery tickets.
Oh, dang it.
Thank you, yeah, thanks.
I thought it was
Anybody-
a lot of cash.
Yeah. Anybody have anything for
Yeah,
Rick?
who were the kids that were cleaning up? Somebody told me it was Norton's baseball team came over.
Cleaning up where?
The refuse, the mess. They said there were a bunch of kids working down south of Jerry Blank's. Who was telling me?
Well, the Norton kids were staying at my aunt's Heritage Harbor.
The Norton kids were? Or
Yeah.
maybe that's who it was. They were supposed to be playing baseball.
Well, they did play baseball Friday night, Norton beat Smith Center
Where at?
here.
Here.
And then they moved the tournament to Norton.
Oh, I thought they moved the
The
whole
Smith Center
thing.
beat them both times.
Well, they
And
started
then Smith
Friday.
Center came back and won the tournament, beat Norton twice in the.
Really?
So maybe they came over after they beat us Friday to help clean up. We wouldn't get returned the favor by spanking them. I don't know.
I got one thing, I know this isn't your territory, but I gotta ask you, just, has anybody looked at the greens?
Oh, yeah.
They have,
We just got a new chemical rep a month ago from the one Boden's had forever from, I don't even know where he's from, but I don't know if the guy had ever stepped on our golf course. We now have the chemical rep that takes care of Superior, Red Cloud, Clay Center, Nebraska. He said he'll have our greens fixed up in a year.
Good. Yeah. Because I had about 3 or 4 people say, they don't get them, we're gonna lose a lot of
You,
members.
you realize, guys, that this started 3 years
Oh,
before.
yeah.
I left.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't
Yeah.
a new thing. This is.
it's been
We've
building.
been battling this, trying to get stuff to grow. It's the selenium in our poop water that we're putting on those greens. It builds a barrier in the root system, don't let the roots go down, and then it can't get any water and they just die out.
We can't be the only course that uses that kind of water. Can we?
But I don't know how they're selenium, that's part of the reason we're putting a new cell in. Because we can't meet the state mandates on certain things. And the other thing is that our chemical rep it's called a wetting agent. You put it down and it breaks that stuff up, lets the water get down in
Yeah.
through it. Nobody ever said anything about it to us. This guy's got us, I don't know if we got 2 or 3 different kinds, pretty expensive chemical, but it's either that or you're not gonna have any greens.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Get you some
gone.
Dawn dishwashing, so.
They're gonna be gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Rick.
Yep.
Anything else for Rick, Tracy?
No.
Randy?
No.
Thank you, Rick. Jill, do you have anything to bring for the council?
Just a few in your packet, you'll see the PINMA report, that's on the annual workers' compensation. I did note the areas that we did not pass, which is really out of our control. Our experience modification is 1.31. That is 3 years prior to last year, based on accidents or anything that happens. We have one case that flowed into 3 years ago that happened about 12 years ago. Then the IMA, that is also out of our control. The state hasn't been here. They're behind. He said they, like everyone, are struggling to find help. We did qualify with our good percentage for the full 5% discount for next year's work comp rate. So that was good. Secondly, our scanner on our copier in our office is not working. Again, we've had this issue multiple times. However, today, Next Tech informed me that it is due to Microsoft's setup and that we scan to email. In order to rectify that, they would set up a new IP just for the copier at a charge every month. Before we do that, I'd like to look at desktop scanners. You know, the hospitals, the clinics, all of them use desktop scanners. This was a great solution because it came on board, but we can't do a two-factor authentication on the copier to get to our scanner. They got it working for us right now as a patch, but they can't keep it that way. It would be some money up front to get 3 of those set up, but not the monthly fees and eventually raised fees. I would just like to look at that and kind of see where, I looked real quick at the end of the day today. They range anywhere from $200 to $400 a piece. So it would be a chunk of change to start with, but I think I'd like to talk to like our hospital and such and see what they use, because obviously they utilize it throughout the day for a large number of documents. I don't want to get something that's going to be done for any and have to be replaced. But our Next Tech is already extremely high. I hate to add that because we're going to have a service call on top of it, getting it set up and then monthly fee. That if something happens again, we're right back where we are. The third and last thing I have is with this situation that we had in the storm the other night, we couldn't send out an alert without power. I couldn't get down here. I didn't have anything at home that I could get it processed through. I talked to Deb Hayes a little bit this morning before she went to the county commissioners meeting, and she's trying to work up some ideas as well. I have since then got that on my laptop at home where I can get on a VPN network so that we're not compromised in any way, so I can do that. But if we don't have internet, that still poses a problem. So I haven't talked to her after the county commissioners meeting, but she'll keep in touch on some different options. But then more so, and you know, when Jamie and I were visiting this afternoon, are the options for a generator for this building. This is the building that people are supposed to be able to come to if we have issues in town, if we have a natural disaster, if there is a tornado and we don't have a generator to keep our building going. I would like permission to look at some prices, write some grants.
Your checkbook.
I looked on the
see where
internet
we're
last
at.
night on a 26,000 watt generator from Generac that had the disconnect switch with it. It was just a little under $7,100.
I think that's well worth it.
I'd like to get some options anyway and see what we can do grant wise.
It was a 200 amp generator,
What was it, KW?
the 2600 or 26 kW. It's 26,000 watts.
We don't have a large number of people that comes, but if we have a situation, I don't want to be stuck where we aren't prepared at all. I mean, at this point, we can't offer anything unless we've got
I guess that's something
electricity.
I was overlooking. I thought we had one.
A generator?
Yeah.
We do on our water system.
Water-
Everything, a big-
Well, the fire department has, they got a grant. I don't know if they've got theirs in yet or not.
Yeah, they do.
Can we get a grant here?
That way we
That's,
can have,
that's what I'm
Probably.
asking permission for.
Absolutely.
I would
If
look
you-
into that.
If you,
that's something, you know,
if
my
consider
office
this is-
too can be
We
added.
can
to,
tie
you
them all
know,
together.
Set out here, mine can be added in, so
But
I'd
I
have
looked
power
last
too.
night at a
I'm on the
Generac
same boat.
26
And I know the courthouse
kW.
has
The big we need for this building.
Well, I don't suppose our services would be any more than 200 amp like a household service.
Well, and if we maintained enough for one floor and Janie's office, if
Well,
we can pull all that in, you know, we don't need to do the whole building by any means.
Well, the deal is with the Generac, you charge your whole building
Direct
with a
wire.
generator, so you use your own wiring, so you don't have to run extension cords off a generator. But that type of Generac system will run a 5-ton air conditioner. It's a 200 amp service is what it is. And I would venture to say we don't have any more than a 200 amp service in this building anyway. But it has the automatic disconnect switch with it. You just wire the power to the switch, and then it senses when there's no power coming to it, it kicks on and shuts it off so it don't backfeed.
I'll do some research and see what I can come up with and bring it back to you. I'd
And it's a natural gas power.
like to
Yeah.
try.
I put one in
Yeah.
for Lebanon, community center.
I think it's a great idea to do, if you could come
I'll
up
see
with
what I can
something.
come up with.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Anybody have anything for Jill? Don?
Nope.
Brady, Tracy?
No.
No.
RAL, do you have anything to bring for the council?
No.
Anybody have anything for RAL? Don?
No.
Committee reports, anybody have anything to bring for the council? Brady?
Ariel, Kimmy and I met, and Art Bedford met with the Lochner engineers today at the airport. And they're getting plans together to redo our taxiways to the hangars. And then it sounded pretty good that we might be able to get some money to do the second phase of the taxiways now that we don't have the old airstrip in. So
Oh, okay. Good deal.
that's moving along.
Is that all you have?
If
Thank you, Brady. Don, you have anything to bring?
No, oh, for Brady or me?
For you,
I do.
because I'm gonna go and have you guys.
Okay,
ask for
I do.
executive
We,
session to get done.
talking about the pool, we've got 2 guards we've lost in the last 2 weeks, and the gentleman talked to you about that. Maybe I'll come down tomorrow. Donna says she's got it covered for the rest of the time. I would recommend that we pay Tegan McKenzie $150 in his last check. He hasn't worked full-time, but every time they needed him, he's been there. He's worked weekends and worked pool parties. And the 2 girls that we just lost, they would not get the bonus check in their last paycheck. And we talked about closing, I believe the last day would be August 16th, I think. Is that a Friday? I think that's a Friday. And on Rec Commission, I talked to Billy, they've got some internal matters they're gonna take care of, and I said, handle amongst yourself and just let me know what you've decided. There's nothing external, it's all internal. Nothing real big deal, so. And, I guess we're gonna find out how good our new insurance is.
I guess so.
That would be my question. Because I know the golf course has some damage.
Wade's got a lot. Red lost a window on one of his tractors.
Yeah.
And
Well, I know that-
Mark, I asked Mark this morning to go around and check all the buildings that he You know, because he goes out to the golf course now, you know, just for some of the things that the guys might have missed on the outside. Could be,
That's what I'm afraid
Because the
of. Some might
building-
show up a month from now that you missed.
There was quite a bit of damage at the golf course.
so I pulled out a spreadsheet and I just started handwriting as people,
And I got those bleachers down there, those aluminum bleachers, I'm thinking,
That's counties.
no, not the.
that's
bleachers.
rec commission.
Oh, rec.
They have the land,
They have
but
the
we
land, yeah.
insure the
And
actual
the
property.
fence all down.
And
There's
that's that as well.
did you go down there and look?
Okay, I have several pictures. I went around and got pictures. I went and worked at the park Saturday trying to clean up since the guys were out Friday night. But if anybody has any extras they want to
What
send,
that
feel
did
free
to
to do so, because I want those for FEMA, emergencies, and for insurance. So it's kind of a try.
That's all I've got.
Okay, thanks, Don. Tricia, you have anything to bring forward?
No, but I would like to, I don't know how we could do it, but they probably wouldn't have had the golf tournament Saturday and Sunday. There was a bunch of guys, I don't know, Rick, was you out there at 5 in the morning?
Yeah, 4:30.
Yeah, that cleaned up the golf course so they could have that tournament. And I don't know how many guys, but K Maxwell, I know, had his piece of skid steer out there, and
There was about 8 of us at 4:30, and then this few started filtering in after that, but it was a mess.
yeah, there was,
I was shocked.
I was too.
It looked a lot different at 7 than it did at 4:30, I guarantee you.
That water must have come quick and left quick.
It did,
It did.
but the trees that were down were just, 9 fairway was, 9 and 3 fairway were just coated with little branches and huge tree limbs and.
They went right straight south, right through town, just right straight south. No, it was a good deal that, I don't know how to thank them, but
That's what a community does.
I would like to,
Bryce, I got one other thing I need
Yeah.
to bring up, I forgot about. We lost one whole tennis court, and we lost our brand new pickleball court. So insurance pays for that. I mean, that's not even ours. I don't know whose it is, but I think is it insured under us, Jill?
Yeah, it's insured underneath us because the tennis courts are part of what we take care of.
is it through the rec commission? Do they have
No, it's
anything?
straight through the city.
Huh?
It's straight through the city.
Straight
The
through.
purchase of that was bought in combination of money from Rec Commission that they donated and the tennis association.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it's our
And grants.
responsibility. I put the court down, but I didn't know, I just never did know. When Terry was here, we always took care of the tennis courts because she played tennis, you know,
Yeah.
but they're a mess.
That they are.
It's another one of those agreements, kind of like the ball fields, where it's partially owned, but responsibility.
There's a stock tank up against the north side of the school. You see that?
Where'd that come from?
Down in the practice field.
Oh, wow.
Busted out Holman's window in his room.
Before we call adjournment, I would like to go into executive session for 10 minutes to discuss the non-elected personnel. Would someone like to make that move?
So moved.
second.
The move secondly go into the executive session for 10 minutes. Huh? And who?
Attendance.
Oh, yourself and
Council.
council. Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
You guys never want me to stay.
We're talking about you, right?
Most of the time, that's what I figured.
I know what he should do.
Me and Austin.